Hi everybody, thanks so much for coming back to my channel. Today I'm doing a homeschool curriculum review for you for the Matthew C program. We have been using this method for 2 years now with our oldest, and today I wanted to give you the pros and cons in the system, how is it different from other curriculums in the market and also from the public school system, and some modifications that we had to make and some of the things that you need to consider if using the system, and also if we're going to continue to use it in the future. So leave me a comment down below telling me if you are thinking about homeschooling, already homeschool, or if you're watching this video for other reasons. So the first thing I want to tell you about the Matthew C program is that it has 13 levels. This program will take your child from kindergarten to 12th grade. So it's one program that you can stick with for your homeschool journey. The other thing I want to tell you about Matthew C is that it's a mastery curriculum, which means that your child will have to master one concept before moving on to the next. This is very different from other curriculums currently in the market and also how most public school systems work. In other curriculums, they use the spiral approach, which means the child is introduced to various concepts at once, and then they go back and try to expand in each concept a little bit more. So if your child has trouble learning math, then they might fall behind. However, if your child is really good at math, they might actually prefer that method. This is really important to know because with this curriculum, it's important that you are planning to homeschool for a very long time. If you're planning for your child to go back into the public school system, or if your state requires that you have testing done, then you will have to understand that your child might not be at the same level as their peers for that school age. This does not mean, however, that your child will not graduate high school with the same type of knowledge, because at about 7th grade, the curriculums align. So if you are planning to homeschool from kindergarten to 7th grade and then send your kid into high school or the end of middle school and so forth, then you are able to use this curriculum and then introduce your child to the public school system or private school system at that point. So how does the program actually work? Let me show you the materials that come with the program, and then I'll go a little bit into more the method of it. Okay. So for the primer, for example, it comes with the workbook, the student workbook, the teacher's manual, and a DVD with the lessons, and you will also have to purchase the blocks, okay? This is very important. I don't think you can actually forego buying the blocks. However, at some point, your child will start doing a lot of mental math, and they won't need the blocks anymore. But you will need to buy their blocks. The student manual, it's pretty thick, but it's pretty easy. I'll show you guys a typical lesson, and so don't worry about how thick it is for kindergarten age kids. So this is a DVD with all the lessons. We have not used it because all the lessons are actually available online once you purchase the curriculum. And so you can just go online and watch it. Now, if you want the children to watch it and not have access to the internet, then you will have to have a DVD player in your home. Now, do you need to watch this? No, not necessarily. You just need to read 1 or 2 pages of the teacher's manual for each lesson, and you're good to go. Now, if you're not really comfortable teaching math or you want your children to be independent learners and they are able to do that at their age, then you can just let them watch the lessons or online, and then they're going to be doing the practiced exercises by themselves. Let's talk about the teacher's manual. The teacher's manual comes with an introduction to the system, and then the first lessons, and it teaches you what you need to tell the child, what you need to teach the child. It's not scripted, but it is like very simple and forward, so you just need to read it and make sure that you understand it before you teach it. The method is really different than the ones that I grew up with, so you will need to familiarize yourself before starting. But once you start, It doesn't take very long for the lessons at all, less than 10 minutes, and you are done with the instruction part, and then the child can do the exercises. So this is what primer teaches. It teaches number recognition, writing numerals, geometric shapes, and then it goes on to place value, unibars, counting, addition by ones, twos, threes, vertical addition, addition by tens, addition of hundreds, solving for the unknown, and then tally marks, telling time, and subtraction. Okay, now the latter concepts are only taught very basically during the primer, but it's just an introduction to math. This curriculum progresses pretty quickly, so by the 12th chapter it will have them doing addition, and the method is not very intuitive for adults. I didn't think so in the beginning. There were certain things that I was like, why are they doing this? Like, they introduced 3-digit place value numbers for the children before they learned how to count by 20. But if you trust the method, I found it actually makes a lot of sense, and the children don't have the same issues as we have of logic, okay? So they are able to pick it up really quickly. Again, you have to trust the method because it will have your child learning like how to add by ones, by twos, and then by nines, okay? So you will have to really trust the method that it works, and it really works, guys. My son is 5 and he's doing mental math that all the time. We have been using this for 2 years, and the first year was really the preschool kindergarten level, so we didn't really have a formal routine with this. We still don't. I teach math when my son wants to learn it, and so we used it probably once or twice a week, and sometimes we would do 1 page and sometimes we would do 10. So it just depends on his mood and if he's really wanting to learn it. The alpha level is supposed to be for first grade. They don't have the grades and the levels on their website. That is something that you will have to notice by comparing it to the common standards. I do say first grade interchangeably with the levels for them, because just so you know, if you are not currently homeschooling and you are trying to compare like where should my child be in the levels, then you know you will understand why I use it. So the alpha level also comes with the student workbook, the teacher's manual. It comes with a test book and also the DVD, okay? So the lessons are also available online. And one thing to note is that if your child is struggling with a concept and they already went through all the practice problems on the student workbook, you can always go online and print more worksheets to use, okay? So there's extra material that you can download from their website. The test book, I haven't used it at all. I don't test or grade my child, but if I needed to, because I feel like he might be struggling with some concepts, then it's here. Okay, I might do this at the end of this book just to see that he has all the concepts down pat. Or if you're introducing your child for the first time, you might use it to see if they're in the right level. Okay. They also have placement tests online, so just go there and take a placement test and you will see at what level your child should start. The alpha level is addition and subtraction. Literally in the middle of the book, it starts teaching subtraction. So the first half is all addition, the second half is heavily on subtraction, but it also includes the addition just for review. And so it is literally addition and then subtraction. Here are the things that I will introduce the child to. Counting to 20, place value, addition by 0, addition by 1, addition by 2, 9, 8, and then still has some shapes, some skip counting, addition of 3s, 4s, 7s, and 5s. And then it goes into subtraction at lesson 18, and it does that until lesson 30. In the appendix, there is some time telling, but also it will not be further explored in this level. It actually gets more in-depth into the next level, which is the beta. Okay, and beta is multiple digit addition and subtraction. So in this one is only single digit addition and subtraction. If you are familiar with the Common Core standards, you're like, what? A child in first grade should learn a lot more than that. And maybe you're right. The Common Core standards do explain that the child in first grade will be exposed to a lot more. And as I explained before, this does not align with the Common Core standards 1-by-1 or the public school system. And that's because it teaches by mastery, one concept at a time. And then by the grade 6 or 7, the child will be aligned perfectly with public school system or the Common Core standard. So let me tell you how I actually teach Matthew C. Okay, so first I'm just gonna use the blocks over here and show you how it's like the basics of this method. You would say, what is 3 plus 2? And then put it together and count, okay? Or you can actually put a 5 next or on top of it and say it's 5. And then you can build, how many more ways can you build 5? And so you teach addition that way. If you're doing subtraction, for example, or finding the unknown, then you will actually place it like this. Okay, so it's 5 minus 3, and then you count the rest, and that's how you get the answer. So it's fairly easy concept. Of course, when you're first starting, it's a little bit like different, but the children really pick it up really fast. I'll first introduce the concept using the blocks, the new concept, for example, subtraction, and then I will have my son start answering the questions. And each chapter has about 7 lessons for practice that they can do, and in each lesson in the alpha level you might have 18 problems or 20 problems. Okay, this program does not include a reward system, so if your child is highly motivated by rewards, I would recommend that you buy some stickers. I did this when my son was very young. He started doing this at 3 years old, so he was really motivated by stickers. So I bought him some stickers for that. The other thing that I bought stickers for is for handwriting. So these books require you to have a lot of pencil skills and handwriting skills, even at the first level of primer. And my son at 3 years old did not have that, even though he knew the numbers and he was able to recognize them and count and even do addition. He was not very good at writing them. And so he started getting very frustrated by having to work on his handwriting to answer the problems. So I decided that instead of creating frustration with math and having that association, that I would buy him some stickers for the numbers. At first, I bought some really small stickers. As you can see here, they're round and they're super small, and that worked on his fine motor skills. However, he was also getting frustrated with that, so I actually got him some bigger number stickers like these. Okay, and they were more colorful as well, which he liked. Color is one thing that is missing from these workbooks. There's no characters, no funny characters, no like mazes or anything like that that your child might want to play with or interact with for the curriculum. It's black and white, and it's as straightforward as it gets. Okay, it's, I think, meant for the child to just do the work and get over it and move on. Okay, and so if you have a no-nonsense child like that, this is great. However, for the very small children, I found that it was a little bit lacking, and so we supplemented this primer level with lots of Kumon workbooks that not only worked on fine motor skills for like tracing and things like that, but it had colorful activities that he could do as well, and he seemed to enjoy that a lot more. This type of activities for the Kumon books are found in other curriculums available on the marketplace, such as the Singapore curriculum. You will see that their books are much more colorful. So if you are teaching a very young child, maybe you want to consider doing that instead of this method. The other thing that I would say was a little bit challenging with a small child was the blocks. With the blocks, he always thought it was playtime and he wanted to build with the blocks. So you will have to keep in mind that some of the lessons might take a lot longer because they're distracted by the blocks, which are supposed to help. But eventually they do work with the blocks in the proper way. And so it might just be an age thing. One of the things that you might notice and might frustrate your kids is that the blocks do not stack well, okay? So they're very flimsy like that. They do not stay on very well. And if you have a child with difficulties with fine motor skills, this will be very hard for them. The blocks come in a box, as you see in the back here, but it's very flimsy, and so after a year of use it will start falling apart. So you will have to buy an organizational container for it, like I did here, and I will link it down below if you want to purchase something similar. There are lots of coloring in the primer book, so you will have to gauge if your child likes to color, and you will have to get the same colors as the blocks as for crayons or for markers, so that your child can use it, because they do have to correspond to the color. So now for the cost. The program costs around $150 to $200 for the packaged materials, and then once you buy the blocks for the first level, you don't have to buy them, I guess, until the 4th or 6th level. There's a different set of blocks for decimals and other things. So you might have to do an additional investment of $60 or $100 at that point. So they are not the cheapest option in the market, guys. I will put it out there because you can buy other curriculums for much, much cheaper. However, I will say that you only have to buy one set of books for the entire year. So some other programs you have to buy 4 small books, for example, for the year, and they each cost $30, and then so it adds up. Okay. The other thing that I want to tell you, if you are a secular homeschooler, is that this is not per se a non-religious program, but in the textbooks materials that you buy for just a general one, it does not have any religious texts in it. However, there is a song CD that is for skip counting songs and things like that, and that includes religious songs. So if you are a secular homeschooler and you only want secular material, you will have to make that consideration. So now for the big question, will I continue to use Matthew C? And the answer is yes for now. And the reason for that is I believe that my child is a little bit advanced in math, and so we might go for a curriculum that is a little bit more challenging for his age, such as the Beast Academy. I'm going to be purchasing those materials for next semester in addition to the Matthew C materials, and then see which one he prefers to do best. If he prefers Beast Academy, then I think we'll switch over to that full time. If he struggles a little bit, then we might rely back on the Matthew C program. So this is it for this video, guys. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you did and you found it useful, give it a thumbs up. And if you need more information, there's more information on my website. I'll leave the link down below. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to share with me what curriculum you are using for your child and why, leave it down in the comments and I'll read and respond to you. Also, let me know if you would like any other homeschooling videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.